everyone. I'm Allison Gevertz. I'm the Board of Education member for District 4, which includes part of Region 1. I'm really proud to bring greetings tonight to Region 1 because you've worked so hard to prepare for the district to move forward and for Region 1 to move forward. Thank you so much to our scholars, our parents, our teachers, our administrators, and a big thanks to Ms. Pierch, the Region 1 superintendent, who's worked tirelessly day and night helping to prepare to move forward, and also to the most stellar superintendent in the country, Ms. Cheryl Watson-Harris. She's the best. We're so thankful for her leadership. So thanks to all of you, and have a good night.
Hello, my name is Anna Hill, and I'm a newly elected board member. I represent District 1, and I'm honored to serve DeKalb County School District for the next 4 years. Welcome everyone to the State of the Region. I appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts. First of all, today, I want to acknowledge the students, both in Region 1 and all of DeKalb County. About a year ago, your life changed dramatically and unexpectedly. You have had the heaviest burden, and I recognize that. You've missed your friends, you've missed your teachers, you've missed your regular life. I want you to know I understand how difficult this has been, and I hear you. I take you seriously for who you are now and not just for what you will become. You matter and things will get better, and I want you to know I appreciate your patience. Things will get better. I also want to thank the teachers. You've missed your colleagues, your students, and your classrooms. You've worked hard to teach in a remote environment, and I'm very grateful for you. And of course, I appreciate the regional superintendent, Ms. Pierch, and our leader, Ms. Watson-Harris, the wonderful superintendent. Thank you so much for inviting me today to participate, and I look forward to hearing the rest of today's presentation. Have a great evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the State of Region 1. I am Melanie Pierch, the very proud Regional Superintendent over the Chamblee, Cross Keys, and Dunwoody Cluster schools. I hope you all enjoyed the State of the District event, address, celebration, we'll call it, this evening. I know we were all super excited about the energy that Mrs. Watson-Harris brings to DeKalb schools. I would like to thank you all this evening for tuning in with us. I will be sharing with you some of our data highlights and accomplishments in the region and in the cluster schools, as well as our improvement plan for where we are going and then how we're going to get there. You will hear from several principals with highlights and accomplishments from the specific schools in each cluster. And then lastly, I will be taking you on a picture walk to show you our region readiness for our student return. I know we can say that we're ready and yep, we're all set in Region 1. However, until we actually have students in the schools, we're not quite sure. So I will give just huge kudos to our region schools as we receive students over the past couple weeks with our MAP testing and access testing. We have had great success, so we can certainly say we are ready. Before I begin our presentation, I would like to extend several thank yous, sincere thank yous, to the entire Region 1 community. First, students, thank you for working hard, for being self-motivated, and for pushing through. I know school can be challenging when there's no socialization that goes with the schooling, so we certainly appreciate your efforts and your attitude. For our teachers and staff, thank you for your flexibility and your creativity. I know you all kind of just went back to feeling like first-year teachers again. And I know after that first year of teaching was done, you're like, phew, that's never going to happen again. And that's kind of where we all were this year. So I appreciate all of the extra hours, the energy, the creativity, the home classroom transitions, and all of the extra efforts you all have put in. I also appreciate your adjusting to coming back into the buildings. We've heard you, and we have made the adjustments to ensuring that you feel safe in the buildings. And again, we know as educators, we go into we go into teaching because we enjoy kids. And so I have seen the excitement as I've been in the buildings during this past month, and I've truly enjoyed meeting many of you. For our parents, thank you for your patience and your support. Even when you didn't always agree with decisions made, we know we have your support, and we truly appreciate that. I will continue to welcome all of your respectful emails and phone calls as we work together and have conversations about how we can make our return and the virtual environment be successful for all. I will also continue to work with our PAC chairs in our meetings every other month to problem solve and brainstorm on how we can make all transitions 100% successful. And then our school leaders, our Region 1 team, a huge thank you. And all I can summarize this way is just figuring it all out. It is a daily problem solving, what's working, what's not working. And fortunately, we have some of the best problem solvers as leaders in Region 1. So thank you as well again to the entire Region 1 community. It does take a village. We've had awesome partners along the way, and we appreciate all of the support. I will say, as we return to schools and as we prepare for our student return, it will take all of us. We will be leaning on everyone for support, for communication. I know I've said in numerous newsletters as well in various meetings, and I will give credit to my friend Laura Neely for the term, but this is tough. It's going to be tough. But fortunately, in Region 1, we are tougher, and we will get it done. Moving on to a little bit about Region 1, we do have 27 schools. 18 of them are designated as Title I schools. As you can see here, and I'm not going to go through slide by slide some of our demographics, but what stands out the most is we truly are a diverse region. We celebrate that diversity. We strive to meet everyone's needs individually and collectively as clusters and as regions. I can say some of the best collaboration I've seen between schools, leaders, teachers, has been between schools that you might think have nothing in common. So that collaboration and communication is strong. It is kind of the rock of our region in basing everything on communication, collaboration, and culture. And mostly it just shows that as a region, and our Region 1 motto, we are united as one, and we are definitely stronger as one. I have on the screen now a little bit about our CCRPI data trends over 5 years. Again, this is naturally lagging data. We don't have data from last year. We are using MAP, current MAP data from last year and this year for the schools to really keep up with where students are. And then, of course, a variety of individual student data that schools are collecting. We also have our graduation rate data that we study often. One thing that we are working on successfully and making great progress is the vertical alignment between the schools and kind of the mindset of everybody is responsible for this graduation rate, and looking back into the middle schools, how are we getting the kids ready to graduate in the middle schools and then even into the elementary schools. Our student engagement in our virtual world, we do analyze weekly. The schools are reaching out to anybody who is not online and where the gaps are. So we're proud of the work that the schools are doing with that communication. Moving on to our support team, as you know, it takes all of us, and all of us at about 120% right now, but we do have a wonderful Region 1 team of leaders and then also support staff. So as you can see here, I know many of you communicate with Dr. Johnson and Dr. Kyle, our coordinators, and then of course our administrative assistant, Ms. Joyce Johnson-Fulton. We also have our behind the scenes people, so we wanted to put a face with some names that you may hear from. And another thing I'm super proud of within our region is the communication and the collaboration. If there's a problem with transportation, Mr. Lewis and the principals are working immediately. Just support all around. Our operations division, I think Miss Mott was at a school at about 6 a.m. the other day working on the heat to ensure everything was running smoothly before our map testing. So again, it does take a whole team to make this work. So we give thanks to our team. I am not going to go into too much detail with going through all of our improvement plan, but I can kind of summarize it in that our goals in our improvement plan, and this will be posted on school websites if you would like to read, and as well as our in-depth 20-page plan. But basically, our goals are to make sure that every single student shows progress and is progressing towards their own academic goals. Again, we do a lot of this through our vertical alignment, through working with schools closely, and then each school has their own school improvement plan, which is available to all parents. In addition to, and I will just kind of flip through these as you can read through, but we look at the instruction that's taking place, whether that's virtual or in the classroom, and will probably be a combination of both coming soon. So we look at the instruction, we look at the, whoops, let me go back here, at each individual student if they need acceleration, if they need remediation, and exactly what they need instructionally. Again, the progress monitoring piece is huge with that. And then in addition to, here I'll go through kind of quickly so you can take a view, but in addition to the academic goals, our focus is also to concentrate on every individual student. Do they have what they need socially? Do they have what they need emotionally? And just kind of those wraparound services. And again, shout out to the schools. They do a fabulous job with that. And then something for any of you who have ever been at a school where I've been, my thing is developing leaders, and everybody should be a leader, teacher leaders, student leaders. So really just building capacity within the schools to ensure that, I think a lot of the schools have this motto, something along the lines of everybody needs to do something. So just making sure that students are involved and that they have those leadership opportunities. So speaking of leaders, here you will see our cluster leaders. It's been really great to have, we have 2 cluster leaders per cluster. And it's usually a secondary principal and then a primary school principal. And basically they are just, I can't put a description because they are my go-to people. We brainstorm together, we problem solve together. We meet several times a month, and every meeting is, hey, what do you guys think about this? How's this going to go over? How's this going to work? And they are truly a problem-solving, brainstorming team, if I had to give them a name. So having said that, at this time, you are going to hear from a few of our cluster leaders. Dr. Neely will be sharing some highlights from the Chambly cluster. Dr. Jesse Berger will be sharing some highlights from the Cross Keys cluster, and Jennifer Sanders will be sharing for the Dunwoody cluster. So thank you again, and enjoy some of the highlights.
Good evening. My name is Laura Neely. I'm the principal at Kittredge Magnet School for High Achievers, and I'm here to talk with you and share highlights about the Chambly cluster. The Chambly cluster schools are Chambly Charter High School, Chambly Middle School, Montgomery Elementary, Ashford Park Elementary, Huntley Hills Elementary and Montessori, and Kittredge Magnet School for High Achievers. We have several academic highlights that we're very proud of in the Chambly cluster. At Chambly High School, we had 13 National Merit finalists. At Kittredge Magnet, we have been a 5-time recipient of the Governor's Platinum Award for Achievement. And at both Huntley Hills and Montgomery, we have STEM certified programs. It has been important in the Chambly cluster to maintain our community partnerships. Some exciting news out of Chambly Middle School is that the Beacon Church adopted and renovated the teacher workrooms. And at Ashford Park, they focused on wellness and fitness and partnered with the city of Brookhaven for the Brookhaven Bolt 5K. During remote learning in the Chambly cluster, it has been a goal to continue to engage our students in not just their academics, but in activities and social life experiences. Athletics, school clubs, and other types of activities have helped us meet this goal. At Chambly High School, the swim and dive team had placements, both team and athlete placements, at the state championship recently. At Chambly Middle School, they have continued to run their virtual clubs to keep students engaged. At Kittredge Magnet School, we've held virtual author visits, lunch bunch social time, and student clubs. At Ashford Park, they've held monthly drive-by celebration and opportunities for students and parents to pick up materials to continue remote learning at home. At Huntley Hills, they have had storytelling events with teachers for students around the holidays and special events. And finally, at Montgomery, Principal Bowles gives personalized video messages from the principal to students. In the Chambly cluster, we are excited about the eventual return of students to our schools. Next, you'll hear from Dr. Jesse Berger, principal at Doraville United, about the Cross Keys cluster. Thank you.
Greetings, bienvenidos, from Cross Keys Cluster Schools. My name is Jesse Berger, and I'm the principal of Doraville United Elementary School. I represent Cross Keys High School, Sequoia Middle School, Carey Reynolds Elementary School, Dresden Elementary School, John Lewis Elementary School, Montclair Elementary School, Oak Cliff, and Woodward Elementary Schools. We strive each and every day where our teachers maximize instruction and infuse learning. We are a pillar of the Cross Keys Cluster community. Our schools have been recognized as beating the odds schools. Some of our schools have received a 5-star rating on the climate survey. We also have a school recognized for closing gap. We have several schools that are engaged in PBIS, as well as we have an intentional intervention blocks within our master school schedule. We also have a growing reader schools within our cluster. We're so excited that our high school was recognized for Georgia Academic Skills Region Champions. We are a very dedicated, dynamic, diverse, and data-driven cluster. Throughout this remote learning, our schools have been very, very, very visible within the community, whereas our churches, our synagogues, and several organizations have partnered with the Cross Keys Cluster community to distribute school supplies and food items within the community. We also have we have partnerships with the Atlanta Falcons as well as the Emory Healthcare System. We're excited about our collaboration with the Doraville and Chambly Police Departments. Throughout our remote learning process, we have been able to have Tech Wednesdays available for our students as well as virtual family nights. We're truly excited about our mentoring program that we have with new teachers within our cluster, as well as our parent virtual university. Thank you.
Greetings, I am Jennifer Sanders, principal of Dunwoody Elementary School and the leader of the Dunwoody Cluster. Today, I'm honored and proud to share the highlights of how our schools are making strides in academic accomplishments, as well as working with the community to meet the needs of our students. The Dunwoody schools have historically performed well academically with sustained growth and our high achievement levels. This year alone, Dunwoody High School advanced 25 students to the state phase of the Governor's Honors Program, which requires students to demonstrate both exceptional academic aptitude as well as strong interpersonal skills. Hightower Elementary boasts of an 8-point gain in their state school ranking score, which is better known as a CCRPI score. Dunwoody Elementary is a 4-time recipient of the Governor's Office of Accountability's Highest Performing School Award, while Chestnut Elementary claims an A performance on the Governor's Performance Report Card for 2018 and 2019. Austin Elementary rounds out the academic honors of the cluster with the title of DCSD 2021 Reading Bowl Champs. Academic achievement in our Dunwoody schools can be attributed to the ingenuity and creativity of the teachers and staff who develop programs that regularly meet the needs of the students and bridge the learning gaps. Peachtree Middle School prepares students for a path to college by offering 5 Carnegie Unit courses. Kingsley Elementary offers an Enrichment Monday so that students can broaden their curriculum experiences through specialty classes. And Vanderland supports beginning readers by assuring that all K-2 teachers are Orton-Gillingham trained. The strength of the Dunwoody area schools relies on an involved community that sees the value in developing successful schools for successful communities. Our schools have been blessed with an overwhelming willingness of local businesses to support schools, from facility improvement, such as the Waterbox Graphics mural painting project at Dunwoody High School, to staff and students Wellness Wednesday at Kingsley. Our community partners have supported families in need as well. Dunwoody Baptist assisted Peachtree Middle with the collection of food and gift cards, while Temple Emmanuel provided backpacks of food for those in need at Chestnut. Kids for Kindness at Austin and the Anti-Defamations League No Place for Hate at Dunwoody support the social emotional development of our young children and seek to encourage a culture of acceptance. Vanderland Elementary provides academic support and enrichment through a partnership with the Buck Institute, which offers project-based learning for all students. It goes without saying that the COVID pandemic has caused schools to rethink the way they do business. Connecting with the community and students has never been more challenging, yet our schools have risen to the occasion. Schools in the Dunwoody Cluster have hosted beep and greet events, curbside material checkout, counselor virtual support and newsletters, virtual tours and town halls, special messages from students to students, and manipulatives and resource checkout. Most appreciated, though, has been the school's understanding that every family has unique and special circumstances. Schools have worked to provide special digital learning plans for those needing more support, Wednesday small group sessions, and time for students to gather and socialize virtually. Our Dunwoody Cluster schools have been a partner with families as we guide our students through a difficult year. Our Region 1 schools are not only comprised of 3 high schools and feeder schools, but we also have unique schools and centers. Mrs. Pierch will share more about what these schools offer to our students and community.
Thank you. As you can see, why our schools are so successful with awesome leaders like that. So thank you to Dr. Neely, Dr. Berger, and Mrs. Sanders. As Mrs. Sanders mentioned, we do have in Region 1 some unique programs in schools. We do have 2 schools that focus on exceptional students and exceptional programs. So Margaret Harris Comprehensive School is a wonderful environment. I can't wait to visit when the students come back, and you can see some of their accomplishments listed on the screen, as well as Warren Technical School. Like I always call it Warren Tech. So again, focuses on the high school students and some vocational skills and getting the students ready. We also offer 2 charter schools within our region, DeKalb Path Academy and Tapestry Public Charter School, and you can see some of their accomplishments as well. As we move on here, I know the burning question, are we ready? When are we returning, and are we ready to return? So again, I do want to say loud and clear and publicly, the key to a safe and successful return is that we all own that it is all of our responsibility to make sure our students and our staff return safe for our communities. I will say, I think pictures tell the best story, so I'm going to briefly go through some pictures to show you how we are ready and some of the things that we are doing. One of the probably most precise check system, monitoring system is all schools have literally a 6-page checklist that gets down into every detail of the school, the instruction, the staffing, to make sure that we have thought of everything for a safe return. So you can see here is just one page and then a second page, really looking at, have we thought of everything that can go wrong so we can get ahead of it. All buildings will have signage, so parents, if you can share with your students, and we know a lot of them have already been back in the buildings this week, but they will see one-way hallways, stop here, all the various signs to remind students to wear masks. And then one sign that I love, I think it's on this next page, it's okay to ask others to put on a mask. So all the schools will be sharing that with students over and over again. You can see down at the bottom there, all of the classrooms are receiving their own set of cleaning supplies. And again, many of the schools then have their own checklists that they are putting outside of the classrooms and common areas to show exactly what is getting clean, the expectation for each area. We know instruction has been at the top of everyone's mind. What is this going to look like? How is this going to work? Are the kids just going to be sitting there on a computer? So the teachers have been collaborating amongst each other in the schools and then amongst each other through the different schools, as well as the leaders, in looking at some best practices. The district offered some professional learning in this past month as well. But you can see that the teachers will be able to be mobile with the various setups that they have, of looking at the kids, having what's on their computer behind them on the screen, and then the spacing of the desks as well. These pictures are a great example of, excuse me, as well as some of the unique ways that they've put up barriers with the shower curtains, the clear shower curtains, and some creative, again, I'm going back to the teachers' creativity there. I know a lot of questions have come up with parents about how, my student will have trouble learning if the teacher's talking through a mask. So all schools have available to them the mask with the clear, so students can see the teacher's mouth, as well as some of the schools have purchased the headsets that just shows the box of it there, but the headsets. So teachers will have a microphone over their mask so students can hear better. In addition, you'll see down below, all of the students will have individual student materials. They will not be sharing materials. Several of our schools have had open houses, especially for the kindergartners who have never been in the schools yet, back to school rallies to give the students their own materials, as well as unique ways, you can see at the bottom with students who have never been to their classroom, unique ways of how to find their classroom. Just a reminder, visitors and parents will not be allowed to walk the students to the classroom. So you can see below, the teacher said, hey, just look for the Incredibles, and we're the Incredibles classroom. So just some ways that they're doing that. Each school did either do a video or a presentation that should be posted on their website of a what to expect. As we know, all of our schools are different, so what to expect exactly at their school. Again, 2 more examples of just specifics for each school. So reach out to your school and your school website there. These are various ways to stay connected. As you know, right when we post something, a new change comes and information is being updated literally by the minute. So stay updated with the district's reopening website, with your own school's website, and then also we are really working on getting information out via school messenger. So all of family information must be up to date in Infinite Campus to get those school messenger announcements. Schools will be reaching out with an additional intent to return survey, something in their own, specific to their own school. So I know parents, many of you are like, oh, why am I filling this out again? We need to make this work, we need to get an accurate number of students coming back. As you know, we are planning on many of our students returning. And in order to be able to ensure it is a safe, distanced environment for the students, we are really working hard to get an accurate count. So we do appreciate your support and cooperation with getting the correct information to the schools. Here we just have a little more information, and we will have the schools updating some of this data on their website as well. And in closing, as we prepare to return, I do, as teachers return and we prepare for a student return, I do, again, just want to acknowledge all of the feelings that everybody is having, whether it's frustration, whether it's anxiety, whether it's excitement, or perhaps in a lot of cases, all of the above, and it depends on the day or the hour. We know parents, we know students, we know teachers, staff, everyone is experiencing different feelings or a combination of all of those. I will say I cannot, as regional superintendent, I cannot be more proud of our entire community, of the support that you all have shown to the schools and to each other. It does take a village, and again, I think I've said this somewhere before, but Region 1 is a really good village. So I will say again, please review with your students the expectations as they return to school, whether it's for testing, whether it's for school, in any case, and as you go about in the community, just the reminders to stay apart, to keep your hands washed, sanitized, and to yourself. Be smart and responsible, and of course, wear your mask. We hope to see you very soon in the schools personally. Thank you again for tuning in, and have a great evening.